Hello everyone, this is lecture 2 of vector spaces. The lecture 1 is already uploaded in this channel. The link is provided in the description. Today we will discuss about subspaces. In the previous lecture, we have already discussed detailed definition of vector spaces. In this lecture, we have discussed about subspaces. Now, let V be a vector space over a field F with respect to addition from V cross V to V, which is the internal composition, and multiplication dot from F cross V to V. This is the internal composition and this is the external composition. Now let W be a non-empty subset of V. Now we restrict the above addition, that is internal composition plus to W cross W, that is W cross W to W, and the above external composition dot, we restrict the external composition dot to F cross W. So if W satisfies the 10 conditions of vector space, that is, if W forms a vector space, over F with respect to addition from W cross W to W and multiplication from F cross W to W, then W is called a subvector space or a linear subspace, or a subspace of V. That is, a vector subspace is nothing but a non-empty subset of a vector space which itself forms a vector space. Now there is a question that is there any condition for being a vector subspace? The answer is yes. What are the conditions? This is the required two condition. Here is a theorem. The theorem says that a non-empty subset W of a vector space V over a field F is a subspace of V if and only if number one condition is alpha belongs to W and beta belongs to W implies alpha plus beta belongs to W, and number two, alpha belongs to W and C belongs to F implies C alpha belongs to W. Now, if these two conditions are satisfied, then is there any guarantee that all the 10 conditions for being a vector space will be also satisfied? We can easily prove this. So let's start the proof. Here we prove that if condition 1 and condition 2 are satisfied for a non-empty subset W of a vector space B, then W satisfies all the 10 conditions of vector space. Suppose condition 1 and 2 hold in W. Now 1 is the identity element of F. Since F is a field, since F is a field and 1 belongs to F, therefore minus 1 is also belongs to F. Now let alpha and beta belongs to W. Since minus 1 belongs to F and beta belongs to W, therefore minus 1 into beta, this also belongs to W by condition 2, that is minus beta belongs to W. Now minus beta belongs to W and alpha belongs to W, therefore by condition 1 we can say that alpha minus beta also belongs to W. Alpha plus minus beta belongs to W. This actually implies alpha minus beta belongs to W. And this is true for all alpha and beta belongs to W. Therefore, W is a subgroup of the additive group V. Also, since V is a vector space, therefore V is a commutative group. Commutative group. And we know that subgroup of a commutative group is also commutative. So this implies W is also a commutative subgroup of V. Now, as W is a commutative group, so therefore the condition V1 to V5 is also satisfied for W, and V6 is also satisfied from 2, and V7 to V10. These 4 conditions are also satisfied since these 4 conditions are hereditary property, and since V satisfies these 4 conditions, therefore W is also satisfies these 4 conditions. So we can say that W satisfies all 10 conditions. So therefore W is a vector space, and also W is a subset of V. Therefore W is a vector subspace of V. Conversely, if W is a vector subspace of V, then these 2 conditions are automatically satisfied from V1 and V6. So this completes the proof. So a subset W of a vector space V, a subspace, if and only if alpha plus beta belongs to W is equal to alpha plus beta belongs to W, and alpha belongs to W and C belongs to F implies C alpha belongs to F. Combining these two conditions, we can also say that alpha comma beta belongs to W and A and B belongs to F if for alpha beta belongs to W and AB belongs to F, alpha A alpha plus B beta belongs to W, then it implies W is a subspace of V. Subspace of V. Therefore, W is a subspace of V if and only if this one condition is satisfied. Now, example of vector subspaces are V itself is a subspace of V, is a subspace of V. This subspace is called, this subspace is called improper subspace. Improper subspace of V. Let, second example is let W is equal to singleton theta, that is W contains only the null vector of V. Then W is also a vector subspace of V. This W is called trivial subspace. Trivial subspace of V. Now, third example is S. Let S is equal to those x, y, and z belongs to R3 such that y is equal to z is equal to 0. It is a subset of R3. R3 is a vector space, and S is a non-empty subset of R3 as 0, 0, 0. This belongs to S, so S is non-empty. And it also satisfies the condition that A alpha plus B beta belongs to S if alpha and beta belongs to S and A B belongs to F, that is here set of all real numbers. So S is a subspace of R3 which is neither improper nor trivial. Now, here is an important note that if W is a subspace of V, then W must contain the null vector theta of V. That is, contrapositively, if W does not contain the null vector theta of V, then W is not a subspace of V. Why? Because W is a subgroup of the additive group V, so it must contains the null element of V. For example, the set is subset of R3 such that x plus y plus z is equal to 1. S is not a subspace of R3. It is non-empty subset of R3 because 0, 0, 1 belongs to S, but S does not contain null element of R3, that is 0, 0, 0. As 0 plus 0 plus 0, this is 0 which is not equal to 1. So, this does not belongs to S. Therefore, from the previous note, we can say that S is not a vector. S is not a vector subspace. That is all for today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will cover more details, description and some theorems about subspaces. The next lecture will be uploaded very soon, so stay tuned. Thank you so much.